Hello and welcome back to Ultimate Marble Racing Season 5. Yes, we are back. We are so back because it's total extermination time. Race number 13. Unlucky for some. We're going to see how many people get unlucky on this one. Now, this is one of my masterpiece creations that I've been working on. I've been working on for a while. I haven't worked on it for a while. But that got tweaked for the last season. I don't think I've made any changes since the last season. But yeah, one of my later pieces of work built around pure chaos and elimination. So it's a bit of a survival track, which we used to categorize as elimination races, but now we don't break the races apart into elimination and standard races. The point system is the same across them all. But technically, yes, this is an elimination race in the fact that a lot of people are going to get knocked out and it's all about surviving, not necessarily about how quick you can get around the track. So, Azur's still leading, just about. Rough race last time around. Starting positions may not mean a lot in this one. Again, it's all about surviving, so we'll see. Superboss in second, were making it into the top 3. And the standing is getting a little bit closer together after the last race. Demon taking the win, moving out of that 16th spot. Let's see what happens this time around. So let's head over to the track. And here we are. Total extermination. May not look too chaotic from the overview. I don't know, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't to you. We'll take a look around in just a second. But first, predictions. Starter prediction. How many will DNF get those predictions in? You have 2 minutes. And let's take a look around. So we have a split section. The right gets split again into single lanes as spinners on the left. And then we have a couple of jumps here. Be careful not to fall off. You could fall off this early point. It is less punishing than the original version, as there is a recovery portal that will recover you back up to that orange stretch of road. Oh yes, this track. Then going through those nails you can get stuck on, and then we have the house, which I always forget what we call it, the House of Doom, I think, which if you end up going through the middle, which can happen either if you go too quick through the nail section or if someone pushes you. Yeah, you go in there, say goodbye, that is you out. Then up and over the bridge, trying not to fall off. We don't usually lose anyone on the bridge. Generally quite a calm spot. Flews a vote 10 to 13. Yeah, you're probably looking at high votes here. Then shooting up the pipe, getting fired out into the wall of spikes. Then dropping down. We have the bounce pads to bounce over. You will either have to go to the wall of spikes again if you overshoot, or you'll get dropped down into the next section. Now, entry into this section is key. If you take the wrong route, you're going to the lava, and guess what? That's you out. Then down to the big jump. A couple of routes you can get here. You can get sent back if you don't get the right angle, or there's a couple of shorter routes and a longer route, and these will take you down to here. Now we have a logic box, I guess I'll call it, which will trigger this to flip. So you want to try and get through there as soon as possible, because as soon as that flips, you're going to be going through the bouncy section, which can push you off, and that will set you back. Again, not as punishing as it used to be, where you just fall off and say goodbye. Definitely didn't get many laps out of that. And then through one of the newer sections, the spinning axes, it can slow you down, hit you about, around the sweeping bends, and back down to the start. So, predictions are finished. Front row, Iceman, Alfonso, Shady, Snorker. Back row, Demon, Jimmy, Moo, Wheat. Not that that's probably going to matter. 10 laps. Who will survive? Will anyone survive? We are about to find out as the lights count down, and they're green. And away they go. into the first corner. The grid splitting. Going past the spinners. So Weep's going to be just in front of a lot of speed over there. Are we going to lose anyone through this section? Iceman, Snorker. Ooh, some contact there. Boy nearly getting pushed across. And it has not been a good day for Iceman and Snorker. Might be dropping down the standings even further. But it has been a terrible day for Iceman. Brutal. So F's in the chat for the two of them. We're going to see a lot of F's getting put into this chat this race. I'm sure of it. And Weep's going to have to redo that section. Superboss has got the correct line through there. See everyone else bouncing through as makes it through. Pesky Bird taking a fall. Will be recovering. Stardust, that is the wrong way into the lava. Stardust out. Demon out as well. And it's going to be behind Stardust. F's in the chat for both of them. Going through here. Zern Superboss with a lot of speed. Making it through. Shady getting stuck on the ramp. We'll have to roll into one of the recovery spots. And you see Pesky Bird having to do the lap again. But being a lap down doesn't matter too much. Nope, you're not out. You're not dead. You're still going. Shady there lining up to retake the jump. Fluid surviving on the more dangerous side. Now, of course, going a lap down does mean you do risk having to take some of these obstacles again, which does put you at risk. But if you can survive, then you're doing well. Now, Zer playing a dangerous game there, almost going into the house. Superboss going to slow down and go around the edge. Playing it steady. We've got Alfonso, Eggbot, Fluids, and Weep. We see Eggbot coming over. Into the nails, slowing down, hugging the wall, best way to play it. See Boer going through underneath. Fluge with a little hop over the step there. Interesting. Was that Azur taking a fall? It was. In the background, Pesky Bird makes it past the lava. So maybe able to pass Stardust and Demon here if they make it to the next checkpoint. Which they do. Now Superboss going to have to retake this section here. Which means Fluids and Eggbot currently at the top. Eggbot getting some real height here. Needs to be careful, but does stick the landing. Fluids makes it through. Eggbot, on the other hand, does not into the lava, and that is F's in the chat for Eggbot and F's in the chat for Superboss, who currently has the fastest lap. Alfonso getting past Fluids. Alfonso leading Fluids in second. Big jump there by Mover, not quite nailing the shortcut. Jimmy, Shady, and Cheese make it through. Shady nearly getting the quickest shortcut, which also is the safest because you can avoid the bouncy side. Eggbot no longer immortal. Indeed, Shady's going to have to go around the bouncy side of this. And is it a fall? There's the fall. We'll be going back to the start. And we lost Pesky Bird as well. I think Pesky Bird may have fallen to the lava because they did not pass Superboss or Eggbot. So F's in the chat for Pesky Bird as well. Alfonso out as well. I think that was to the house. From the leading position, Alfonso falls. Big F's in the chat for Alfonso. Like I say, it's not about speed, it's about surviving. And 3 laps in, and we've already lost a good chunk of people. Just what we expect. But Moo and Fluids up at the front, side by side, fighting it out for that #1 spot. Moo's going to break with a bit more speed. Fluids going for the steadier approach. See Boer in the background avoiding the house. Zer's going to slow down as well. Meanwhile, Moo making it through safely. Fluid's hugging the safer side to avoid the lava. Our Superboss could still pick up an extra point here if no one takes that fastest lap. Moo going to have to take the jump again. Fluids makes it over. We'll move up into first. Cheese going through. Big jump. It goes backwards. Weep going through. We're going the safe side as well. Lots of speed there by Fluids, going pretty bold through the axes, managing to dodge all of them as make it through without the lava. Moo's going to take a fall down the bouncy side. Weep going through, Cheese going through, timing it just right, not tough to get forced into the more dangerous side, but this means Fluids does have the lead. See Boer managing to get the best line there. Just save them from getting forced the other way by Zer. Heading back up to the house. We've got quite a few people here, a lot of contact, a lot of chaos. Anyone going to get pushed in? No, very clean past the house. No one wanting to get close to the entrance there and getting knocked out. Fluids, Moo and Jimmy side by side. Moo down in 7th. Is technically a lap down at this point. You see Azure and Boer coming through, some collisions going on, but both making it through. 50% eliminated. On lap 4. Happy with it already? I'm sure you are. You're guaranteed at least 8th position at this point in the race. Over the bouncy section. And Azure going off to the side. Not enough on the inside there to recover, and that is Azure out as well into the lava. And F's in the chat for Azure. Another one bites the dust. Another one down. So up at the front, Jimmy is currently leading. Weep in 2nd. Cheese in 3rd. Fluids in 4th. Boy in 5th. Moon Shady having to make some time to get past Azure. No one taking that fastest lap from Superboss. And Jimmy going out. I didn't see where that happened. I think that happened at the house. But F's in the chat for Jimmy. Not sure if that was in view. It would have been the house. Unfortunate way to go for Jimmy going out of that number 1 spot. But no one is safe on this track. So that puts Weep up into 1st. Cheese in 2nd. Fluids in 3rd. Boer's going to move up to 4th, making it past the house. Moon Shady still having to gain position. As I say that, Moo failing gets crossed off the board. And Moo is out. F's in the chat for Moo. That will have been a fall into the lava. There's a battle going on between Fluids and Cheese. Shady gaining some positions, just hanging on, staying alive, that's all you need to do. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. A very dangerous marathon with spikes and lava. Worm makes it up. She's having some difficulties with the jump. going to, I guess the safest thing to do is just not carry on going around the track. Should be able to get knocked out of here at some point. Shady coming around. Should pass Jimmy, I think, here. Past the house. And there we go, Shady up into 5th. So everyone's still running. Is guaranteed a top 5, and it's Fluids and Were the 2 Balls of Steel in 1-2 right now. Fluids past the house. Slow and steady. And now Were going the opposite way around. Also slowing down, play it safe. Makes it past again. See Shady avoiding the lava. Cheese heading down to the axes. So now if we didn't have the recovering portal at the bottom, I think we may have lost everyone by now from falling in other places. Really the main areas you want to be worried about, be nervous going into, is the house section and the lava section. And Fluids and Were both clear the lava section. You might be right with that. I think the 2 of you haven't actually fallen off the track once yet. Yeah, the house definitely gets deadlier with more people racing. As people start to pile up and push their way through more often, then it becomes very dangerous. And Shady nearly just going straight in by themselves, just narrowly avoiding it, will survive for a bit longer. And Superbot still holding that fastest lap. Must have been quite the lap. Oh, this doesn't look great for Fluids. That was close. Very close, but does make it past. Surviving yet again. Cheese really does have some difficulties with that ramp, but did actually make it. I thought that was going to be a full backwards. It does make it through. We're going slow and steady, knows what it's all about. And this could be huge for Boer in the standings. This could be huge. Cheese and Wheat. Yeah, Fluids just keeping the pace going up at the front. Playing it a little bit riskier. But it is paying off at the moment. Still holding first place. A little bit of a rough landing there. And the last 5 spreading themselves out a little bit. Weep and Cheese, the only 2 that are fairly close together. Everyone else just trying to keep clean. Use their space to themselves. Avoid any disruption that isn't needed. And Weep got fastest lap, so they did. Weep putting in a strong lap to take that away from Superboss. And Fluids avoids the house yet again. We see Weep have to take that wall of spikes again. We're through. Cheese failing the jump again. It's going to have to retake it. And Shady falling down. But a lot less chaotic as we run the numbers down here. Ooh, Wheat going for the guaranteed safe shortcut. Fluids now has Shady near them. Could cause some trouble. Race is almost over. Will the last 5 be able to survive to the end? But Cheese and Wheat side by side going across the line. Battling out for that 3rd place. Shady gonna give Fluids a big push. Can Fluids hold 1st place down to the end? They've just got to stay consistent here. Just hold on and not slip up. Past the house. Yet again, Cheese and Wheat. Cheese does make it onto the steps before Wheat. And over the jump seat, we're flying down to the start finish. And Fluids, it's over for Fluids. The line was wrong. And straight into the house. And Bwer follows straight away. Oh, it's just crazy scenes. The top 2, the Balls of Steel teammates, both going out. Bwer doesn't even get past Fluids. The 1-2 out. Can't live without her. Oh, classic Bwer moment. The chance to try and get into 1st. And just follows Fluids in. So big F's in the chat. Our top 2 getting knocked out. And yes, Cheese time. This could be Cheese's time to shine. But Cheese does have to get past the house as well. And we have 3 left running on lap 9 of 10. So it's all eyes on Cheese. Over the jump. Bit of speed, but it's a good line, and that is Cheese going past and up into 1st. Now, time for Wheat. Going to follow the same line. Interesting route, but it works. Actually, quite a quick route through there. No wonder Wheat has the fastest lap. We're going to snooze the ad break as well, as we are close to the end of the race. And watch Shady come through. A bit quick. Oh, really playing with it there. Really teasing. That was a risky play by Shady, just taunting everyone. Bouncing across the entrance. But carries on. So the top 3. Cheese, Wheat and Shady. Let's see if they can all hang on to the end. Wheat's going for the safe shortcut here. Make sure Cheese can't send them off in the bumper section. And this is going to allow Wheat to really gain on Cheese. And we could have quite the exciting end here with a battle going on between Cheese and Wheat. Not often you see this on this track. Usually as people are getting knocked out, they tend to spread out a little bit more. But going on to the final lap, this could be close. And will the pressure get to either of them? And Wheat getting a little bit stuck in the single section. The physics can get a little bit weird on these. See Cheese making it past the house. Onto the steps. Wheat making it through as well. Now Cheese is going to have to make sure they nail every section here. Has had difficulties with that jump, but the pressure's on this lap. Makes it through the first of the hurdles. It looks like a good line as well. Won't be going into the lava. Wheat is falling. Gonna have to redo that bit. Means Cheese has a good bit of time here to get this jump right. With the pressure on, does make it. And from this point on, it's looking good for Cheese. Getting past the worst of the sections and onto the home stretch. And Weep, we just saw in the background there, Weep's gone into the lava. F's in the chat for Weep, doesn't make it to the end, and that means Shady could move up into second. Great exit line there by Cheese. Coming around the final corner, Cheese takes the win, makes it to the end. And we do have someone making it to the end. And it looks like we may have two people making it to the end. Shady moving up to second. Let's see, we had to feed the cheese in the chat, so you know what that means. Spam those cheese emojis. Emotes. They're emotes on Twitch. I still don't think the feed the cheese explosion works. I could not figure out how to fix it. It worked for like one day when I set it up and hasn't worked since. But we can see the spam of cheeses. A wonderful sign. If only Cheese was here to see it. And there we go. Wow, 14 DNFs. 14 DNFs, a 30-second gap between first and second. But Cheese takes the win. Weep does hold the fastest lap. I can't click on Cheese. Cheese is out. Yep, Cheese is out. Okay, we don't even have a winning cam because Cheese took the win and has just left. Has gone. Oh, look, there we go. Stream elements times. We got a 12 times Cheese combo. Follow Shady. I guess the only marble left running. But yeah, Cheese. Congratulations to Cheese on taking the win. And then just deciding to bail out. Shady being the only one left running following the end of the race. And 14 DNFs. That's what we like to see on a track like this. Just utter chaos. The name speaks for itself. So let's complete the prediction. See if anyone got this one right. This is definitely a tricky one to decide. And it looks like one person got this one right. Only one person went for the high number. 14 to 16. It was Boer. Boer with the correct prediction. Yeah, we had quite a spread prediction on that one. And look at that, Boer. You would have been getting 1.4k eggs if your region allowed you to. So that's what it's saying right there. 1.4k going to Boer. But unfortunately not. Due to the region laws and all that stuff. But as the ad break coming in just in time, I'm going to go and put the results over on the leaderboard and be back in just a minute with the updated standings. It'll be interesting to see how this changes things. Alright, the results have been entered. So let's head over to the standings. And I don't know if you just caught that at the very end there, but Shady just went into the House of Doom just as we were going over to the standings. So no one running anymore. Good thing there wasn't more laps. So after that race, Azur still holding on. 7th place finish. Just enough to hang on. 275 points. But the gaps are closing. Fluids moves up to second, 263 points. Were in third with 262 points. Superboss in fourth with 250. Moo in fifth with 244. Iceman in sixth with 242. Cheese in seventh with 240. Stardust in eighth with 230. Tied with Jimmy. And then Snorker now down to 10th with 227. Below that we have Weep, Peskybird, Shady, Eggbot, Demon, and Alfonso, who are both tied at the bottom. So Demon at risk of going back to 16th yet again. Yeah. Enough said about that. And over in the team standings, of course, with the decent finishing position there, Fluids and Boer will be quite good for the Bulls of Steel. Still in that top spot with 252 points. Tutti Frutti's in second with 234. Icebreakers third with 233. Doge Balls in fourth with 231. Snowballs in fifth with 226. And then we have Marble Minions, Ultraviolets, Green Slushies, Grandmasters, and Eternal Darkness at the bottom. So the standings really closing in a bit. Alfonso and Demon going to have to put a little bit of work in at this point to try and fight up into the top three as we're approaching the second half of the season. And Azure somehow just about hanging on, always getting just enough points needed compared to everyone else to just hold on to that top spot. But how long will that last? How long? And will Fluids and Boer be able to take over that number one spot? Or maybe someone else will. We'll have to see. Not a great day for Iceman. A bit of a struggle. But holding 6th. Not bad considering how bad the day went. So we'll see how things play out. Going forward, we have Battleground, Garden, MP, and Ski Slopes Multilap coming up in the next stream. So keep an eye out for that one. But that is going to do it for this one. As always, if you're watching on YouTube, head over to the Twitch. Give us a follow on Twitch. Our next big goal is 200. Our next smaller goal is 160 followers. So yeah, drop a follow. It'll help me out. Help support the channel. Subscribe if you're interested. I think most people that come across the videos aren't. So yeah, please subscribe. It helps it out quite a bit. Helps the channel. Leave a like. Helps. All that stuff, you know. The generic stuff that everyone always says on videos. You know what to do, I'm sure. But yeah, that is going to do it for this one. So thank you everyone for being here and watching. And thank you to all those that are watching this on YouTube as well. I appreciate everyone that watches, everyone that supports. So have a good night, a good day, a good morning, good whatever it is, wherever you are. And that will do it for this one. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.